Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So I pulled up the name of 10 people here, which are in the Michael Jackson community here on YouTube. Okay, so this first one here, he's the only one that I've never actually spoken with. So I'm going to throw his name in here, and I don't know how to actually get his attention. I think he's like just in his head. He's like he's Hollywood, he's like a little Hollywood glamour girl, and he's a YouTuber, and oh, look at me, I'm famous, Germany famous. I just kind of something about him. He's like gone and stuff, right? I don't think I could ever. I don't know. It's like one of these things. Like, okay, he's older. I know he's got more life experience, and I'm sure he's damn well more intelligent than some 12-year-old little dumb fangirl and stuff, right? So it's like I'd like to have a conversation with German to Venice and stuff, but I don't know if he's capable of having a Michael Jackson conversation with me whatsoever. I just, like, that goes without saying. Even somebody that could be really smart and a real big fan and older and stuff like that, once you introduce my story into him, it's like, boy, next thing you know, it's like when I start talking to him, next thing you know, they break down, and next thing you know, I'm talking to like some little 12-year-old fangirl. And it's like, oh, what happened to you, German in Venice? It's like, man, I started to have an intellectual conversation with you. Next thing you morphed into a little 12-year-old girl, And then he's like, don't offend me. I'm German in Venice. I got a YouTube page. I'm famous. I almost got 100,000 subscribers. Right, so, like I said, I'm going to tell you all these other people I've spoken with or had some form of encounters with, but I've never had any encounters with German in Venice. But it's like I'll dog on him and I'll make fun of him because it's like you're in the Michael Jackson community for a long time, and if you haven't heard of me or done any form of investigation into my work, you're pathetic. So, and I don't consider you any form of real fan. It's like I've been around long enough. If you haven't spoken with me or done investigations into my work or found out that my stuff's, you're definitely not a real Michael Jackson fan. There's no possible way, because you're right here. I'm here. You're here. You don't know what the hell I'm doing? You got to be a fake Michael Jackson fan. And it's like, I'm more than willing to be very cordial with you and speak properly and nice and answering your questions, Mr. German in Venice and stuff, right? But don't get things confused. I know I'm above you. I know I'm smarter than you. And if you dare to have a conversation with me on Michael Jackson's real life, once you start putting up your things and once you start thinking that I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to make you look as stupid as you actually do look, fat boy, 290 pounds. Jesus Christ, German in Venice. You got to get off of the bike. Walk more. Walk. Walk, boy, walk. We'll see. I know, it's funny, German in Venice. Okay, so that's German in Venice. Like I said, I never talked to him, so we'll see what happens with him and stuff. But now I'm going to expose, I pulled up the names of 10 people, so I'm going to expose all these other people and stuff, right? So these are all fake Michael Jackson fans. They're not capable of having any form of a real Michael Jackson conversation. They want to live like what a 12-year-old girl. Like, if these were little 12-year-old girls, that's fine. You're more than fine to go making videos about Michael Jackson's gold pants and making videos about Michael Jackson's smiles and doing reaction videos to Billie Jean. And it's like, okay, fine. Yeah, if you're a 12-year-old girl, fine. That's what you do because you're a dumb 12-year-old girl. But when you're an adult and you're still doing that stuff, it's like, why are you an adult making videos that are attracting the attention of 12-year-old girls? What's wrong? There's something wrong with that. And it's like, nobody else out here calls that stuff out. I'm damn well going to call that stuff out. Adults should not be making videos related to Michael Jackson that are made for children. My videos and stuff, okay, I make Michael Jackson videos, so I encounter children in my stuff. That's part of, it's gonna happen and stuff, right? But I make it pretty damn clear that it's like, I'm not trying to be friends with the kids and stuff. So I talk to kids and shit, but I'm gonna make it darn well clear, I think you damn kids are stupid until you prove to me that you actually are smart. I'm just gonna keep calling you, you're stupid kids. Don't get it straight. Like, I'm not here being like, oh, I love you, Michael Jackson, I love you. Come on, we're gonna do it all for Michael. We love Michael. It's like, I'm not into that, like, come on, little crap, but this Mr. MJ Buzz, that's the kind of way he'll be, right? He'll be like all, oh yeah, we're Michael Jackson fans, la-di-dee, la-di-da. Right? And it's like, when you see any form of any adult man perpetuating that kind of presence in society, you need to start looking at them and asking questions. What's going on here? This doesn't look right. You should not be having these kind of encounters with children, doing videos that are made for children, and you're using Michael Jackson to defend you like you're a good guy because you think his image is going to make you clean up who you are? Hell no. I'm an adult. I ask real questions, and I investigate what people are doing in this kind of scene. Don't think I don't. And when you won't look at the work that I'm doing, you clearly show that you're not a true Michael Jackson fan, and your nature has no business of doing anything here for Michael Jackson. So what are you doing here? Now, this is the only kid here that I even brought up into this that's under 18. And it's only because he portrays himself as a serious, like, he tries, and he's all legit. He would consider himself like, he thinks he's like professional. That's the word I was looking for. He portrays himself as a professional. Like, I know he did the interview. I can't think of the one guy, the dancer and stuff with Michael Jackson. I think he got an interview, or he was saying he was going to. I think he did. If he did it, I watched it, but it sucked. So it's not something I could tell you I really remember and stuff, but it's like I could tell you things that I know that he's done, and he's trying to be a professional. He's got a song. Like, I heard his song when when you go to his video says, "Who are we anymore?" So this is that. Yeah, JD, that's his name, JD. So JD, like, one of the things is like, because I believe he's from the area of, I think he's from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And because I have family in Oklahoma and stuff, and actually a lot of my family roots are in Oklahoma and stuff, and I've lived in Oklahoma and stuff. So I've been out there, I've driven through Tulsa and stuff. So it's like, one of the things is like, I kind of like the kid, he's a little oaky, you know? You know, it's like, they have the song, I'm Okie from Muskogee. It's like, okay, so like when I moved to, I did, see, it's one thing I visited, but when I was living in Oklahoma, and then we'd go visit some family and stuff, and so one of the times I went out to visit family in Muskogee. I mean, that was funny stuff. Like, I grew up in LA, right? And it's like, but then I'm living in Oklahoma and hanging out with family like there. Next thing I know, I'm going to visit family in Muskogee. I'm laughing my butt off. I'm like, oh, because all I know about Muskogee is that song. I know there's a song out there, I'm an Okie from Muskogee and stuff, right? And so it's like, even though Muskogee, it was down in the South and stuff, it was probably like, from what I remember, like I said, it's like one of those things, I probably wasn't actually driving. I wouldn't know exactly, but from what I remember, because I remember I was in Oklahoma City area, and I think we traveled east and like towards the south. So we stayed in the south. So I would think Muskogee's down in the south, probably in the southeast of Oklahoma, where Tulsa's up in the northeast of Oklahoma and stuff, you know? But it probably looks about the same, you know, from what I remember seeing about the stuff, all looks kind of about the same, except Muskogee's a nothing, little town, there's nothing there, where Tulsa's an actual city and stuff, you know, so. But anyways, so that's what I'm saying. I tried to talk to JD, my little okie dokie buddy. My little okie dokie Michael Jackson buddy. But it's like, he tried to be like, out of all the people, it's like stuff, he actually is giving an appearance of trying, he's still doing it. He's trying to be professional. He tries to represent himself as a professional. His page is all monetized. And now, like I said, I'll watch his stuff. I try and watch his stuff and stuff. His stuff sucks. So some of the times I'll watch some of the videos and I have to turn them off because they actually suck that bad. Sorry, JD. But it's like, in reality, when you're talking about me, because the reality, JD, is what you need to understand is, like I keep saying, you can't be making videos for the stupid kids. You got to make a video so that the adult, like the dude like me, is saying, dude, that's killer. That's right on. That's bomb. Dude, you're hitting it hard. You're really talking. You're looking at it a good way. Doesn't matter how old you are. It's a matter of what you're actually saying and shit, right? So like I'm saying, it's like, JD, your videos are like for kids. Because you're still a stupid kid. That's your problem. And you don't have like real artistic talent. You're not showing it. You know, but there's being a YouTube personality and having presence, that's an actual talent too that's out there, and you're like developing that talent. Okay, I don't see you being any kind of a talent, being like really smart and being a musically talented. I'm not seeing that in you, right? But this little personality of being a YouTube personality develop, you are working on that. That's developing. Okay, maybe you go do that, and then you got your coldest water. Next thing you know, you're gonna be the coldest Michael Jackson fan out there and shit. It'll be up on your banner, coldest Michael Jackson fan, history in the mix. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, JD, it's like, dude, I'm telling you right now, dude, if you're any form of a real Michael Jackson form, or any form of thinking you're any form of a real investigative, trying to be a reporter and doing shit like that, if you can't investigate the story, what I'm doing, and do a real video based on a true investigation, what you've done in my work, you're nothing. You are so fraudulent, and you're never going to be anything because you're a fraud. You're like so low level quality of in this world. And if nobody's telling you, well, then how are you going to get out of there and lift yourself above and beyond? You're so far behind the 8 ball right now. You're way behind everybody. You think you're above and beyond with your fucking 17,000 subscribers in the Michael Jackson community and your experience here. You think it's nothing. And I'm telling you, your videos suck, and I'm a Michael Jackson fan. Your videos should at least entertain me, and when they don't, it's because you're not quality enough to entertain me. So it's like, don't give me no shit that you're anything good. You're not. So now let's go to a real loser here. So this was the loser, River Gibbs. See, and he still has a page around here. It's got 80,000 subscribers. It was just about to get to 100,000. He was on his way. He was like, boom, boom, boom. Like within a month, too, he was going to hit 100,000 quick. That's where he was just about to head there. Everything was going good for River Gibbs, except I was calling him out as a fraud, as the fraud he was, saying he was a fake fan, because he was able to make serious allegations about, this is how I knew, when he made the allegation about Michael Jackson, saying that he believed Michael Jackson had been chemically castrated because of the evidence that was provided by Dr. Conrad Murray. It's like, okay, Mr. River Gibbs, so you're going to sit here and accuse Michael Jackson of being chemically castrated, and your evidence is that Dr. Conrad Murray claimed it was so. The guy who freaking definitely is responsible for killing him. So you're using that guy to back you up, but then I try and have a conversation with you. I say, no, what you're seeing is that Michael was abandoned as a child. That's what leads to all of the true nature of what you're seeing is what you're claiming to be is, oh, this is a guy who was chemically castrated. I'm saying, well, let's look at the true nature. If a child was abandoned, if a guy was abandoned, would it create that same nature in the person of the image of what you're seeing in him? Yeah, it sure as hell would. Now let's go back and look at the true nature and with the evidence of what I said. If you're a Michael Jackson fan, why couldn't you have any interest in doing an investigation into a Michael Jackson story? And you were doing more, River Gibbs. You weren't just doing Michael Jackson. You were trying to be a reporter, same kind of thing. You were doing like what the history in the mix is, but you were on a much higher level of actually, like, you could have actually been doing it. You were on the verge of like breaking through, of like trying to be a YouTuber with a page and reporting, and you were trying to do that. You were close to it too. But the problem with you was you were flawed from the beginning, and you were fake, and you weren't smart enough, and you had all these problems, and you were not able to deal with the realities of your problems. And when it came time, your flaws showed to the world, because you went from one day saying, you put the video up when the Leaving Neverland comes up the day before. River Gibbs puts a video up, says, come on, Michael Jackson community, let's all stay strong. We know that this is all lies. We've been through this all before. The day after Leaving Neverland comes out, River Gibbs says, Michael Jackson's a pedophile. I'm done with him. I leaving the community. That's like exactly, like, you want to talk about like levels. It's like, you can't, like, unstable. You're not stable. It's clearly to see from anybody who's real in the real world that there's no stability in you. You have no proper foundation from which to build on, which you can make your proper, form your proper thoughts and your freaking theories based on. Your crap is what it's based on. You got no foundation. And you broke apart, you crumbled down and fumbled in front of everybody, just like everybody knew I knew was coming. Because I could clearly see that your foundation was flawed, that you were flawed from the beginning, and you were not real whatsoever. And you couldn't do any form of investigation of my work because you weren't a real Michael Jackson fan from the beginning. Krista MJ, another fake Michael Jackson fan, runs around doing all her stuff. It's all Michael Jackson. So much time and effort into her world does she put forth into portraying this Michael Jackson image and doing the dance. I'm going to get him exactly right. Watch my neck. See how I stick my neck out like this? It's like, man, it took her years to get her neck to go out exactly in her shoulders, to roll exactly right. All that. You know how much time and effort it took to do that stuff? But she couldn't spend an hour or two investigating what my Billie Jean story's about. We're talking about Billie Jean, the actual Billie Jean. The actual who is Billie Jean. And you're gonna sit here and tell me you're not curious or interested in the actual, that there's the actual person that Michael Jackson, when he's writing the frickin' song, that there's an actual Billie Jean. That actually the song is all about in much more detail than what you've ever understood. And I've explained it, and I'm explaining all the details that he layered into the song, clearly obvious. I'm not like misrepresenting the words of the song. I'm just clearly saying, look these are the exact words of the song. This is Michael Jackson's exact moment in life at that time when he's living with Diana Ross. Don't tell me that doesn't match up perfectly. And you're going to sit here and tell me you don't care that Michael Jackson was abandoned as his child and he had to live with this whole thing his whole life, to which the point he tries to do all he can to inform the world of his situation by writing this great song, Billie Jean, and making sure it's documented in history by putting this great dance performance together with this song that he establishes on Motown 25, and it's there forever now. That's like, boom, it's forever. But you don't care why and how that came about. And you're going to sit there and emulate it over and over and over and over again and call yourself Krista MJ and claim that you're some form of a Michael Jackson fan when you're nothing. When you're the adult in the room and I sit here and try and have a conversation with you and you just, boom, turn around right in the corner. You got nothing to say. You won't hear anything because you're fake. Just like all of them. I don't care how much time you spent with Michael Jackson. I don't care how much you think you're actually related to Michael Jackson. When it comes down to it, Michael Jackson has no blood relation to your family. You're not part of his family. You got none of his talent. None of you Jacksons got any of his talent. I dare you to shut me down. If any of these people were real and had the actual information and life experiences from which to draw, they would shut me down like that. But I dare any one of these people. I stand up to anybody. I'm not here trying to pick on little kids and get in fights with little kids. I will stand up to the strongest challenge in anything that's out there. But what does Taj Jackson do? Blocks me, just like everybody else here on this page here blocked me. That's all they can do. Do they ever come and have a conversation? Do anything? No, they just block me. They give up because they can't put up a fight against my story because it's true. And they don't care about Michael Jackson. He cares about himself. He cares about being known as a family member, a blood relation to Michael Jackson, the king of pop. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care about the pain that killed Michael Jackson and caused him to become a freaking terrible drug addict. He does not care. And he damn well does not want you to deal with the realities and the truth of what Michael Jackson had to do with, because then it comes to the reality and shows you that all these people that thought they were true Michael Jackson, close family members, that they cared about Michael Jackson, they were as fake and as fraudulent as anybody out there that Michael Jackson had to deal with in his real life. I'll stand up to any of these guys. You want to shut me down, Taj Jackson? I dare you. You are nothing. You will not stand up to my story because you're fraud. You're fake. Your family history and knowledge will not stand up to the true story that Diana Ross gave Michael Jackson away when she was 14 years old to the Jackson family. Your family is not related, blood related to Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson, are you? Nah, that's why nobody in your family really can sing or write songs. You guys all suck, clearly. How much opportunity has the Jackson family had, and failure after failure after failure? All of you guys suck. The only person that made it was Janet Jackson because she had great songwriters working for her. If it wasn't for them, she never would have made it either. Her ass never would have been nothing. She would have been the little girl from Good Times, and that's it. I dare you to prove me wrong, Taj Jackson. I dare you to stand up and defend your family against the story I'm telling. Taj Jackson, you fake Michael Jackson related, caring about Michael Jackson faker. You're a fraud. And it says up on your banner right now, brace yourself. Yeah, you better brace yourself, because anything you put out, I'm going to shut down and prove how fake you are instantly. You don't believe me? Go ask Danny Wu. Go ask that frickin' Ian McEwen guy. Soon as their shit came out, I fucking crushed it, and they did not ever dare to stand up against what I was doing, and they had no opinion to bring up my name up ever in the community ever again. Shut me down. Don't let everybody deal with what this guy's doing, because it clearly shows that you're all frauds and fakes. And I dare you to stand up against me, you faker. Can you see this whole loser's name? So it says Michael Jackson defense with Don Lexi. So this loser actually made a video about my story, not even knowing it was me. Like, I had been on his page. He totally knows me. I was the guy on his page calling him Sexy Thong Lexi. Totally knows me, knows I was in here. Then, and maybe he knew I was saying Diana Ross is MJ's mom, but maybe didn't know I was actually the guy, right? Then somebody sent him a link to the story that in Reddit, the people that wrote the story, somebody had sent him the link there. So then he made a video about it, but he didn't actually make a video about it. He imaginary. He said, well, if these people made up a story saying this, oh, well, then it must just be because of this. And then that's it. He didn't talk about the story. He made up his own story. And then he debunked his own story. It was the funniest shit. Like, I'm talking about, like, how dumb these people are and how fake and how weak. I mean, this is a guy, his page is Michael Jackson Defense with Don Lexi. He's all being defender, and he's, like, trying to be investigative stuff, right? He's not capable of making a true investigation video into my story. He's not capable of doing it because they're so mentally inaccurate. And they're not capable of it. And because their mentality of how they've been raised all the time, I don't want to get too deep and insulting on this stuff, but right? But it's more like robotic. Their thoughts are very much more like robotic, like controlled, like, okay, like, so there'd be like there'd be the real people in the world, right? And then there's the robot people, right? So Thon Lexi's like a robot person. His thoughts and his actions, everything is robotic, and they're not loud. They've got like a sensor that says, beep, no, I'm not allowed to investigate that. I'm sorry. And it's like, that's a Thon Lexi, you know? It's like the Thon Lexi Michael Jackson defense robot. And so, but that's what I'm saying. These guys are pathetic. I come up and challenge them, do whatever, call them fake, show that they're fake. It's like, dude, if I'm fake, make fun of me. Go show how fake I am. But I'm telling you, when you do that, what's going to happen is it will spawn a retaliation video from me, a rebuttal video. That's all there is to it. When you make a video, no matter what you do, I'm going to make a rebuttal video to it. So why just insult me and be stupid? Might as well do some proper investigation and see what happens. But you're not capable because you're freaking mental midget in this world, you know, and for some reason you want to stay that way, instead of actually expanding and challenge yourself to see if you actually have a mind and see if you can actually see a new story, an investigation that's right here, something you should actually know about and actually be able to understand if the truth of the story is being told, whether the story holds up or not. But you got to break down from what you think you know, and you got to go look at the story and see the facts and understand that, are these facts, can you break these facts down? No. You won't be able to. So then at that point, you're going to have to start looking at it and saying, maybe this is true. And once you start looking at, can it be true, you're going to see really quick then it's true. Because everything then falls in line. But you have to get over the boundary to just allow yourself to fucking get to the point where you say, can it be true? Because you haven't even got, you're like the 12-year-old little girl. There's no difference. Like I'm saying, that's what I keep saying about these guys. This guy's not making videos for like me. His videos suck. I can't even watch his stuff anymore. It's lame. All he ever talks about is like, endorse my Patreon and support me. Son Lexi, give me money, and don't forget to subscribe. It's all that crap stuff, right? And then he says, okay, and then he talks about like Michael Jackson, but he doesn't say anything. He just uses these words like, oh, well, let's unpack this, you know? And it's like, dude, and then he does nothing. All he does is says, no, okay, well, let's unpack this. And then he says, okay, well, let's wrap this up, or something like that at the end. It was probably a little cool word, whatever. And that's it. He does nothing. It's crap. It's junk. He's horrible, and he thinks he's doing some investigation. He's stuck. It's like click, click, click. He's stuck. Click, click. Leaving Neverland. Click. Leaving Neverland. Click. Leaving Neverland. Click. Leaving Neverland. Oprah. Click. Oprah. Click. Leaving Neverland. Down read. Down read. Malfunction. That's all you do. You're a freaking robot, dude. You're lame. I dare you to stand up to my challenge and freaking debunk my work. You fraud, fake Michael Jackson fan. You fake reporter. You're fake. You're fake Michael Jackson fan. You're fake reporter. You're fake intellectual. Stand up and prove me wrong. I'll sit here and prove you wrong all day, you faker. You fraud. You got another loser. MJ Fangirl. Like I said, all these people block me. That's all they do. MJ Fangirl. She actually, like, what I'm saying is so disgusting. Like, all the stuff, it's like, she might as well darn put on clown makeup and make herself a Michael Jackson clown, you know, and start making a kid show. I'm the Michael Jackson clown. You know, that's what she should really do, because that's what she does. She literally has a kid show. Like what I'm saying is like, it's so disgusting when these people, it's like they can't, okay, you're going to sit here and act like you're a big MJ fangirl, you're the biggest fan. And you know what disgusts me about you, MJ fangirl, is that I saw your dad, the videos, he was cool. Your dad's a real Michael Jackson fan. And he didn't seem to be stupid like the way, but I don't know, you don't seem to be stupid to me either. But then when I look into you more and try to have a conversation, it gets real quick that I understand, oh, you know what the problem is? She's like stupid. It's like, it's weird how this person seems so smart and she's got all her act together, but then when you actually get into it, you realize there's something that's wrong there. There's like, it's broken, the thing's broken, it doesn't work, it doesn't go far enough, it doesn't get to the advanced levels of the mind. It's like, you know, there's a level of what the mind gets to, and her mind only gets to a certain level, and that's it stops. So then, and then she's like, this is what makes her a bad person. And instead of her being able to accept that there's people out here that have much more level, but no, because she can't understand what that is. So she can only understand it by it being represented by, oh, well, this is a Harvard doctor graduate, you know. It's like, okay, you know, somebody like Michael Jackson, oh, the king of pop, and that's why people like this cling on to like a Michael Jackson, because they don't know what talent is. They don't actually know. They're not real fans of Michael Jackson. I'm telling you, that's the problem right off the beginning. They don't know what talent is. She doesn't actually understand what Michael's actual talent. She doesn't actually get it. She doesn't actually see it. But what she does see is the king of pop stuff. All of that stuff, she can see that, because that's like the stupid, any dumb little 12-year-old girl can see that, right? And so she's clinged on to that and claimed to be a Michael Jackson fan, but she's clinging on all the imagery of the king of pop when she's not really a fan of Michael Jackson, but she thinks she is because she listens to the song. But that's one of the ways she has that's why they got to overdo it. She's got to know all the songs, and that's because she's got to overdo it so that she can, if anybody gets into a Michael Jackson conversation with her, she can say, I know all the songs. She knows more than I do. I'm sure she does. If I wanted to have if she wanted to do a Michael Jackson battle with me and we were on some game show, she'd beat my ass. I'm sure she would. She knows all that shit. I'm sure she knows it way better than I do a lot, you know? But the thing is, her dad, though, the video with her dad, he really knew all the stuff, and he was older and stuff, so that's what I'm saying. Your dad was a real fan, showed himself to be a real Michael Jackson fan. Like, even if he's stupid and a total loser in the world, I'll give your dad... I totally believe your dad's a real Michael Jackson fan, because it's not like what you did. He didn't grow up with Michael Jackson, the king of pop. He was a fan of the Jackson 5, and then he went on and kept on the whole time where he was a fan. Like, I mean, he knows the stuff too. Like like I'm saying, I don't know if your dad's smart and everything, but like where I would not call you a fan, MJ Fangirl. I don't think you're a fan. You're a fake, like, just little 12-year-old girl that's a fan of the king of pop. I don't care how much knowledge you have of Michael Jackson songs. I don't even think you're a Michael Jackson fan. Okay, but your dad, I thought, was a Michael Jackson fan. So, you know how disgusting it is for you, MJ Fangirl, to not expose your dad to my story and let him make his own determination of whether my story is real or not? You're not going to give him the chance to see that my story, which could be so integral in the telling of Michael Jackson's actual life, which actually explains the song Billie Jean too, all of it, you know, the Michael Jackson's real parents, you want all the real talent, and I know he's a fan of the Jackson 5, but you got to suck it up and deal with it. I don't care that Michael Jackson is a part of the Jackson 5. I like the Jackson 5. I acknowledge them. They're good. Joe Jackson did a good thing there. And Joe Jackson did that. He formed all that shit. I agree with all that shit. But Michael Jackson, his talent's from Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson. The talent. His talent. His artistic, natural, God-given ability comes from Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson, his real parents. Joe Jackson had nothing to do with that. Nothing. Except it's like, and he didn't even he didn't even go buy a lottery ticket. He got luckier than that. Somebody just called him up and said, hey, you want this kid? It was like, he did nothing. Like, they just gave him the kid. And it was so hard for him then he hustled and did all the stuff, did what he did. He worked it, and I give him credit for all that stuff and shit. But it's not like he won the lottery. He didn't even go buy the damn lottery ticket. I give him more credit. It's like, if you went and bought the lottery tickets, well, you had that money, you went out and you went to the store, you risked your money on the lottery, you won. Good for you. You did it. You did that and shit, right? Joe Jackson did nothing. He was given the kid. He didn't do nothing. But what he did is he worked at the steel mill and had all those kids and all the things of what he did in his life that set him up for that moment to be given that kid. Now, he did do all that. It's different forms of how I give credit in different ways and stuff, right? But it's like, people think the Jacksons, they think, oh, the Jacksons got lucky with Michael, had talent, like he just won the lottery. But it's like, that lottery, that means he had to go pay the ticket, he had to go insert his sperm into Catherine and make a child, and, you know, he had to actually do it, and it was him. Even if the kid came out with talent, it still would be fundamentally, some form of him would be the best version of him, right? That's what people think. But that's not what it is. It's like, no, it's none of that. They didn't win no lottery, no nothing. People just gave him the damn kid. And you don't think that your dad has the right, MJ Fangirl? You're going to sit here and block me and not give these people out here in the world the opportunity to listen to this story because you're mentally inferior and not a true Michael Jackson fan, and what happens is when the truth comes out, you're going to have to deal with the reality of you, and you can't look in the mirror because you're not a real Michael Jackson fan. Well, Michael Jackson damn well told you to look in the mirror, and you can't even do that. You can't do anything to stand up for Michael Jackson in reality because you're fake. And you're a bad human being because you're withholding the truth from your father. That makes you disgusting, MJ Fangirl. And I dare you to have your dad come over and have a conversation with me and try and denounce my work. I am more than willing to have a nice, cordial conversation with your dad. He can ask me any question. I will guide him to my videos to show him the evidence. Any questions he has that thinks that debunks my work, I will then overturn his work and show him the true nature with it, with videos I've already got made. It's already laid out. He's just got to do a little bit of work investigating and be a real Michael Jackson fan. Bring him on over. Send him on over. I'll deal with him because you're a fraud. You don't want to do it with me. You want to go make a MJ Fangirl for Kids TV, huh? Oh, that's what I was talking about, putting on the clown suit. Might as well be a Michael Jackson clown now. You're over there making kids videos, stealing off Michael Jackson's legacy so you could be a child star entertainer. Yeah, not you, MJ Fangirl. Then there's like the ultra disgusting in the community by Pearl Jr. She totally, I've debunked her work. It's like, here's the challenge. You're a reporter, Pearl Jr. You're a reporter. So if somebody puts out work that you can't debunk, you then as a reporter are obligated to report that to the world and say, hey, this is some work that has actual evidence backing it up, and you're supposed to say, I can't debunk this. I've tried to, you know what, this guy's had a conversation, I've tried to actually do it, and you're supposed to say, but when we actually got into it, what you're supposed to acknowledge, Pearl Jr., is that we did do this, and I debunked your work. That's what happened, and then you didn't acknowledge me, you complained to YouTube and put a strike on my video and had that video of me debunking your work. You put a claim in there because I had to use a little bit of your video, obviously, to show you the work I'm debunking. But so you don't acknowledge it as a reporter as what I did. I debunked your work. You don't acknowledge me. You report me to YouTube and put a strike on my video and a claim and took that video out. That's what you did, Pearl Jr. That is clearly proven fraudulent activity, and you want to claim to be like a true reporter and a documentary filmmaker? You can't be, because there's no way, and you can't be a Michael Jackson fan, because my story is about Michael Jackson and proving the true story of who he is. But no, you weren't willing to do any investigation and doing that. You actually went to, we're going to shut my work down. That's what you actually did, Pearl Jr. And you're going to sell your story to kids, because the reason I got introduced to you, because some little 11-year-old kid's telling me my work's wrong, because Pearl Jr. is telling me Michael's alive and all this stuff. That's what you do. That's what you do in the Michael Jackson community, Pearl Jr. And you already know, I'll stand up to you anytime, debunk your work anytime. And the biggest actual fraud, because we've had the encounters, and there's no difference between Michael Trapson and River Gibbs. The reality of my two experiences with them are both. They both were incredibly fraudulent Michael Jackson fans. They didn't know anything about him. All they cared about was stealing from Michael Jackson to build up this YouTube image of being like YouTubers. Like I said, River Gibbs was on the verge of being like a real YouTuber, reporter, doing other stuff. He was cool. Like I said, they're editors. That's what these people are. They're not real things. The real talent of what they've got is they're editors. That's what they actually have good editing and talent. Same as Michael Trapson, same as River Gibbs. Same kind of things. Michael Trapson has built his talent as being an editor and being a cool guy. I'm groovy. I'm Mr. Groovy, Mr. Glow King. Yeah, I'm from the hood. I'm Michael Trapson from the hood. I'm from Philly, Philly, Philly. Yeah. Groovy, Mr. Fake, Mr. Fraud, Mr. Thief, Mr. Scumbag Loser, not willing to deal with any of the reality of the true story I'm telling of Michael Jackson. I'm the only one out here defending Michael Jackson. You're actually fighting against Michael Jackson, you scumbag, thief, and loser. You're actually making a living, getting all this glory, getting all this stuff off of Michael Jackson, and then you got the nerve to actually fight against his true story coming out? And you're going to sit and fight against me because you're too weak to deal with it because you're fake? You're not a real man. Same thing with your dad. Same thing like I told with MJ Fangirl. It's like her dad is a real fan. Your dad is a fake fan, Michael Trapson. Your dad, I talked to him, he's no different than a little 12-year-old girl. That's why I see why it's wrong with you, because your dad was so stupid and fake and fraud. Little 12-year-old girl couldn't deal with any reality of what the story I was telling with him. Just had to act just like any little 12-year-old girl. No, you're wrong because I say you're wrong. No, I've been told a different story. No, I won't listen. No. That was your dad, Michael Trapson. That's what's wrong with him. That's what's wrong with you. You're all fakes in the community. You thieving scumbag losers. And I dare you to stand up and shut me down. Shut me down. Do the favor to the community. If you're Mr. Glow King and you're Mr. Defender of Michael Jackson, then shut me down. Prove my work's wrong with your greater knowledge and your greater fandom. Prove me wrong. Do something except running and hiding. You're no different than River Gibbs. Because your true nature from your weak nature of what your father raised you to be, little 12-year-old girl. Na 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 na. I don't have to listen. I don't have to listen. You suck. You're a fraud, you're fake, and I dare you over and over to shut me up and prove me wrong. All of you. How can there be so much fake people in the community? You're not only fake fans, you're disgusting human beings. Somebody stand up and prove me wrong, please. Somebody stand up and prove that you're actually a real Michael Jackson fan. Somebody.